a certain individual in this podcast only hitting the leg with every single gun.
Hi.
Trying to test out prototype lists for Richmond against Nicholas has been hell.
Tell me about it. The Scarabus is an absolute demon to everybody but you. He's just like, whatever, flip arm.
I'm still thinking about that 17,000 BV dropship with 21 clan large pulse lasers.
Excuse me, what?
Welcome to the Odysseus Legion Podcast. Incoming message.
Before we get into this episode, I would like to say a few things. First, I want to apologize for the delay in getting episodes out. Going forward, we're going to be switching to a once-a-month release. When I started this project, I had a lot more free time and energy to devote to the podcast and other BattleTech projects, but a lot has changed in my life, and I really need to change my priorities. I will be doing my best to catch up on releases and episodes already recorded, then aim for new episodes at the beginning of each month, starting in the next month or two. So thank you all for listening and being supportive. Hello, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Odysseus Legion Podcast. My name is Nicholas, I will be your host for today, and I play too much Jade Falcon. Joining me, as usual, is the occasional Smoke Jaguar enjoyer, but not the Star League kind, Garner.
Hello.
The man I am never entirely sure what he's going to play, but it might just be Capellans, Luke.
Hello.
Along with our friend who feels out of place when his commander isn't in an atlas and only owns one planet, Nate.
Howdy.
As we approach several of us going to a tournament, we are jumping into another casual conversation episode. But before we get into whatever it is we end up talking about, what have you guys been up to, BattleTech or otherwise?
I've actually played some games in the last couple of weeks, so that's been a change from my previous schedule. And I'm currently working on painting up a Rakshasa in Davion colors.
Wait, like a real Rakshasa?
It's a print, but...
You got me all excited that like you got a secret release.
No, I'm not getting... Oh no, listen, that core Rakshasa is so nice, and I cannot wait for that, but it's like, I am, as I say often, a nobody as far as CGL is concerned, and also, I am not buying an Iron Winds Rakshasa when that Catalyst one is coming out in like 6 months.
I mean, I know this isn't a Warhammer podcast, but I did get a copy of the second edition of Horus Heresy 6 months before it released. So, I mean, those do go out into the wild, and you can find them. And if people know you like the thing, they'll be like, hey, I will give you this thing because they sent it to me, and I'm not going to use it.
So, CGL, you know how I made that intro in the last episode of, hey, come talk to us. I'm going to make another announcement here. Hey, Luke is an amazing painter whose stuff has been on Sarna, is constantly stolen and claimed by other people on social media and whatnot. You should send him stuff to paint.
Also true.
Aww. That's nice, guys, but that would require me to play nice with camo specs, and their painting application scares and confuses me.
Hi. I've been working on a few different things. Mainly, I've been working on some NovaCat stuff for my NovaCat Sheep Visional Galaxy stuff. I also have picked up a number of stuff that I'm throwing into my Scorpion Empire force. Just last week, I got absolutely housed by Luke over here, but at least he bought me dinner first, so at least there's that.
Listen, the dice did most of that.
I realized that. It was a lot of bad dice.
Was I there in spirit?
Kind of. And then yesterday we also had our RPG session with John, one of the other guys that's been on before, where myself and Nicholas were playing with a couple of other folks. And I gave him a metal Black Lantern D and 2 Ironhold battle armor dudes that I have been working on for the past month.
Oh, and you know what I just realized? 'Cause it's sitting in front of me on my desk. You were supposed to get a mech from me as well. You were supposed to get the Eris I picked up for you.
Oh, I forgot you did that.
This week is kind of going to be the substitute teachers are rolling in the big television, and we're taking out a VHS of some film from like the 1980s to watch because you guys are going to Virginia next week. I guess I will be doing like interviews with all of you about your tournament experiences.
That sounds about right.
Be fun.
Also, interesting side note, because I was looking up hotels and stuff. There is a Garner Hotel, like right next door.
Ooh, fancy.
Literally, it's Garner Hotel. I did not know that there was a chain.
It's just your face on the neon board, and it just says no.
Oh, it's like the episode of The Simpsons where Homer saw this like Japanese icon that looked like himself, but it was like a combination of like a fish and a light bulb. And so Garner just looks and it's his face. He's trying to figure out how, but it's just some innocuous combination of items. Garner, what have you been up to?
Being extremely indecisive on figuring out what I want to do for the Richmond Open and Eastern Assault, because I have strong feelings on the Army construction rules, and they annoy me. And nothing feels right. And I hate getting punished for having an incidental small inner sphere small pulse laser. Or I have to activate mask and supercharger to get to TMM4, and then that counts as one of my 2 TMM4s I can get, because running in a straight line with no turns is definitely just as effective as jumping 17 hexes. I have feelings.
As for me, I've been painting. I'm
angrily
trying to get
emailing people.
And this episode is coming out after lists have to be submitted, so we can talk about our list without any concerns of... I know mine's submitted, but he hasn't said anything. But he has replied to a bunch of emails in a chain about, and I'm trying to get him to like clarify and be specific about problems with the optional rules he's implementing. So we'll probably talk more about afterwards. But the whole like they reference an alternate attack declaration rule listed in the BMM, which is not actually what they're using. Because if you read that rule, you declare your attack and you make your rolls, but you don't assign damage, and you go and do damage altogether later on, because they know that this would break the rules of the game to go each unit individually, declare, roll to hit, and roll damage before moving on to the next unit. In the way that breaks the game in terms of it trying to be simultaneous, because it breaks, first of all, knowledge chain of what happens. So if you kill a unit before it activates, then it could just be like, well, f you, I'm using up all my shit. Heat doesn't matter, I'm dead. Versus, you know, like ammo explosions. Like what I questioned was, because I'm trying to get the idea that this is not doing simultaneous actions, right? Either A, something happens that's not simultaneous and it prevents something from happening later, or something later interacts with something that's happening now, and both are issues. So the most obvious example was, you know, you shoot a unit, you get hit an ammo crit for an ultra autocannon bin with 2 shots left, where the player, if they haven't acted yet, they have the ability to use both shots by declaring arsenal mode, where maybe they would not have beforehand.
So I have one better for you as a better example of this. How does AMS work? With that? Because, so normally I've gotten clarification on this from one of the CGL devs, Alex, where basically the way that we like speed roll through turns, like it is normally supposed to be you trade back and forth, you confirm all the hits, and then you have to do damage. I believe the way AMS works is you can't bait it with like LRM5s. You have like, they get the ability to choose which of all of the missile attacks that actually successfully connect that they're going to AMS.
Yeah.
So how does AMS work?
I mean, you choose which of the missile attacks in the order. Like, I guess I don't understand the question.
So, okay, so like, say you are getting attacked by like an LRM-15, like 2 LRM-15s and an LRM-20. The way it has been described to me prior, and I will have to go check, is basically that you are allowed to. But basically the idea is you couldn't basically bait out the AMS with one of the 15s and then have the 20 hit later.
Why? Why is that not what you roll? You trigger AMS immediately after a hit roll, but before cluster is rolled. I don't understand the confusion.
Let me see if I can find it. I may be, like I said, I might be talking out of my ass here. Anyway, go on.
All right, yeah. So I tried to explain it to him, and he's just like, "Well, if that happens, just don't do the ammo crit, and you'll deal with it later." And I'm trying to point out to him, if that's how you're doing it, then nobody should ever actually deal with the ammo crits when they happen, because players are going to want to expend the ammo to reduce the damage. I just want you to clarify that if one player takes action A that may be later significantly impacted by other players' action B, you do not fully resolve action A until you can determine action B. You need to set precedent for this optional rule, because it will change how people... I wanted to respond again, but I didn't. But the whole point is, this needs clarification, because it will change how players act. It can change specifically the order of activation. It changes like how far you want to draw down your ammo bins. It changes, in theory, potential actions during the physical attack phase, or anti-missile systems.
I mean, to be fair, like I explained, it changes yours. I was already doing that. I was already using most of a bin and then switching to a new bin.
Yeah, but you're the ultra autocannons guy.
I guess. Question mark?
Like, if you don't use a bin a turn, I don't think you're playing, Garner.
I don't use that many UX. And actually, this week, I fought against a standard Bane. And that was a lot of 2-point clusters from insane range.
Yeah, so I've been painting up, trying to get my force ready for the Eastern Assault tournament many of us are coming up to, so I'm very excited for that. And play the RPG with Nate the other day, as well as we're doing more of the local semi-RPG campaign. I volunteered to be sort of a overhead game master, supporting the actual game masters on multiple tables with rule supervision, which works because I'm often running late, so that's the thing. All right, so first point of contact is Nate. Thank you for finally joining us on an episode of the podcast. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, hello. As you know, my name's Nate. As of this point, and I'm big on trying to play as many different kinds of factions as I can, and I try to have mechs as available as I can for that faction, because I don't want to, mix up all my colors on a single board, because I have weird mixture issues in my head that say, no, you're not supposed to do that, which is why I'm not allowed to use my Lyrans with my Free Worlds League, for example, or my not Smoke Jaguars. I almost admitted I had Smoke Jaguars, and I don't. Nova Cats.
There's only one of us here.
Yes. As there should be. Nova Cats, Scorpions, maybe Star Adders sometime down the line. That one remains to be seen. But I do a lot of that. I try to do a lot of the hobbying. And I'm big on stuff that you don't see very often. Like, I try to find some weird stuff that's out in the boonies when it comes to list building, where you'll just look at, you'll be like, what the fuck is that thing? What is that?
Nate's first laser in the laser jar.
Yes. Like last year, as just a good example, is one of my big Iliad lists that I probably had the second most success with, other than the first season, because the first season was actually like I came in first in the first one. That one was with Lyrans, but my favorite one that I've run is a Taurian Concordat list that used pretty much nothing but rocket launchers, except for a Warhammer, and the Warhammer was my Jump 7 unit, which, you know, that's a heavy mech. They're not supposed to do that. What the hell is this? All I know is that it's behind you now.
I believe Murph this season is bringing a Jump 8 Uziel, which I thought was a bit of a surprise.
Oh yeah, the 8S.
That's a good one.
I would argue one of maybe not the best, but one of the best mediums in the game.
It's kind of what if Jenner, but like 15 tons heavier.
What if Wraith, but more evil?
I would say it's about the same, to be honest. Same as a Wraith.
It's heat negative, so you don't have to. It's unlike the Wraith, you don't have to lay off. You can just keep throwing it at people.
Oh, that's true.
Also, it is an ECM system and a streak, so it has more utility than the Wraith does.
Yeah.
We don't exactly have a firm topic planned, but just as a starting point of conversation, I believe I mentioned to you guys the idea of not list building in as a broad term, but specifically the difference between building a list for a clan force versus building a list for an inner sphere force. Because I know, Nate, that's something that you've struggled to go back and forth on. Garner's in the middle of trying to figure out his list building for the tournament. I'm in a position of everyone's tired of playing the same Jade Falcon force over and over again, so I need to switch to something different. And
I've been fighting it for 3 years.
I believe the phrase I made before was, in my own little neurodivergent brain, when I switch out one of the mechs, it feels like a completely different list, but I have to be conscientious that other people don't feel that same way. So yes, I am going to make an active effort to really switch things up.
The constant use of the Black Lantern D from you actually is what influenced me to get the Iron Wind Metals model of the Black Lantern D and paid it up for you.
It has become just a very favorite unit of mine, and in the way I've been using it, it is silly.
It's good. It is a good mech. I'm not going to dispute that it is a good mech. I just see it a lot.
I guess I'll take the board here. Obviously, we've mentioned how I play Jade Falcon, and I've played a lot of Jade Falcon. The first season ever.
So let's be very clear. It's the issue isn't you playing the same faction.
You couldn't let me complete my statement.
No, because I'm sorry, the thing that goes through my mind right there when you're saying, because you said I just only play Javelin. Well, I pretty much only play Federated Suns, but like I am playing a completely different list like every season, with like one repeat maybe.
In
that one.
In fairness, So all of us are jumping in front of you, Nicholas, and I apologize for that. I have a thing I want to talk about after you kind of introduce your list building thoughts.
I was gonna say, like, my very first Iliad list was all lights and mediums, with the attempt to sort of like with no jump in whatsoever as an experiment to really see what that would do. For a period of time, the two units I would always bring were an Incubus 3 and a Cougar Prime, but I stopped using those because I just felt the pulse was abusive. My very early Jade Falcon list did not even have Black Lanterns. It was essentially, Incubus, Cougar Prime. I had Goshawk. I brought a Devil. I think I tried Pack Hunters once.
In the early time, you actually had a Marauder 2C somewhere in there as well.
Yeah.
The Marauder CC.
Right. at a certain point, I realized to play King of the Hill, I needed a big heavy thing. Yeah, and like I know I needed to push out and escape my sort of comfort zone. Yes, and I've jumped back into Wrestle Hog. I think part of it for me is just if I had my main reluctances, obviously I have a favorite faction, but second, it always is like, what is a second faction I'd actually like to play, and there hasn't been one I really wanted to invest my time and energy into painting and exploring other than Rasselhog, because I really like Rasselhog, but I don't like Ghost Bear Dominion. And having to Garner, you forced me to play Inner Sphere for a season as sort of a trade-off, and that got me to realize that Rasselhog exists up through the Civil War before it becomes the Dominion. It's a Comstar Protectorate for a period of time, and that gives me a bit more access into interesting mechs and designs for Rasselhog. And I'm pretty interested. Like, I like my weird quirky list with a couple of mechs with single heat sinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to use that more this season once my schedule opens up and I can actually get some games in.
I have a suggestion for you.
Yeah.
Alina Mercantile League.
What about
Nate's gut voice is just gone for the rest of the episode. Anytime he speaks, it's just silence, or I'm overdubbing his episode. Like, hang on.
No, actually, I expected him to tell you to bring the Greenbird Sword Mercenary Company.
Yeah. For the record, that was a post that I made in the Discord channel while I was talking to somebody explaining how they could make their own custom mercenary company. And what I used as an example was basically me memeing on what the Jade Falcons are.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicholas was unimpressed.
I think Nicholas was also unimpressed because you had just done a called shot on a thing that Nicholas had previously cooked up himself. Because because this was, and I apologize if this is not supposed to be public knowledge, but you had like basically a Dragoons Compromise but Jade Falcons thing that you were cooking at one point, weren't you?
I mean, that's my Monday Night Megamech campaign.
Yeah.
Is literally...
I guess that kind of was the 7th Falcon Lancers, wasn't it?
The 7th Falcon Lancers, so that my headcanon for my main Iliad force is a sort of an exploration conceptually on both as a premise in universe and as sort of like a thing to explore, which is that in the concept of as the clans enter the inner sphere, they would be encountering alternate cultures, they would be encountering sort of gladiatorial combat, and one for a society that's entirely based on propaganda and sort of concerns of like warriors are the greatest, plus a population who is a significant portion are failed trueborns or descendants of failed trueborns who would cling to sort of the genetic legacy and warrior identity of their lineage, probably like idolizing and following, former members of their Sibcos or other members of the houses. It's to the set of you really would have recordings of battles existing as sort of treasured objects and publicized things. Then you have the 7th Falcon Lancers, the idea being that they would eventually be ritualized combat, sort of specific teams of forces that are designed to not necessarily fight in traditional military campaigns, but forces that are specifically designed to fight in trials, and specifically televised trials, as sort of like a version of Solaris that is clan-based and sort of, hey, we're fighting over possession of this, here's our force, and it is like, totally decked out decoratively in not field camo. It's warriors that fight very much to the absolute letter of Zelbringen, possibly to the point of soccer teams and faking injuries for cards and whatnot. It's a weird level of super honor, but also petty glory. And so you have the 7th Falcon Lancers, which I create the logo for as the hand of the Khan. The idea is here's a task force whose sole purpose is to really engage in trial/arena combat. So they would be the force that could either show up in a very much Zelda like we're here, we're fighting by the rules in a trial for this stuff, but also they'd be equally at home fighting in Solaris kind of close combat, specifically small unit tactics. And so it's a exploration of both in-universe kind of how these alternate societies can function. Because one of my biggest complaints in BattleTech fiction is they really don't pay as much attention to sociology as they should. They kind of hand-wavy them a lot of this stuff and think overly simplistically about it. And 7th Falcon Lancers, which is, a cool exploration of the idea, but also just as a gameplay aspect of, like, I'm playing a force that has to exist in some context where it is effectively engaging in arena Solaris combat.
Let's see.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
How did you make that emblem, by the way? Because I have seen it.
Adobe Illustrator.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So both the 7th Falcon Lancers, which I said, I'll see if I can pop this into the video on YouTube or post it on the Discord or whatever. But maybe if you guys have seen it, it is literally a falconer's glove in position over a logo. And I have a logo for the Emerald Cast Mercenary Company, which is my intro tech Megamech campaign, the secretly run by a Jade Falcon Watch operative mercenary company there to spy and figure out what the hell the Dragoons are up to. They also have a logo, but that one is made in Illustrator but manipulated from a stock version, like stock file of a bird. And I don't know, I mean, it's one of those, like, I kind of, in both cases, particularly with the 7th Falcon Lancers, wanted something that was good, but not like modern good. It still retained some of the cheesy weirdness of a lot of the old school BattleTech logos, where it's a fucking glove on a background. Couldn't you come up with something cool or slim? No, it's a glove on a diamond.
Graphic design is my passion.
Yeah, the reason that I ever saw it was because you used to do that thing when you made list submissions at the start of seasons. You were actually like putting that up next to the Jade Falcon logo above the list itself on the PDF file.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're here to talk about list building today, not necessarily lore.
I mean, the list itself, I had to build it.
Yes, and before you get into that, and I wanna just put in my because I'm the BV nerd, I want to put in my little sidebar about part of the reason why so many clan lists look the same way. And my answer to that is clan tech is too good, and that causes a lot of problems. As a kind of shorthand, we've talked about this in the past, but the way battle value is calculated is it is based on actual performance and ignores things like weight and construction costs. And so one of the easiest examples of this is if you look at the clan ER medium laser and you look at the inner sphere large laser, they have a battle value ratio that is exactly proportional to the amount of damage they do. The ER medium does 7 damage, while the large laser does 8. The medium laser is 7/8 the cost of the large laser because they do that damage over exactly the same range. Heat is not regarded, weight is not regarded, crits are not regarded. Ammo is, but for clan mechs, because they have case everywhere, that's rarely a factor. And as a result, this tends to mean that clan mechs, unless you're very careful, have this big problem where their offensive BV starts to run away very, very quickly, and their defensive BV, it doesn't keep up with how much of a threat they are, because armor, at least until IlClan era, is pretty much capped at whatever your by your tonnage, because you can only carry double your structure pips in armor, no matter whose tech base you're using. So a lot of the times, clan tech and making lists predominantly using clan mechs, you need to thread this very narrow balance of finding mechs that are good and efficient at what they do, while also not seriously outstripping their offensive capability, their defensive capabilities with their offensive capabilities. Which means you often see a lot of the same mechs because you need to find the most optimized mechs possible in a lot of cases.
I'm going to chime in here. This is why I know in my case, I tend to like a lot of clan mechs, like the big value ones that have an autocannon, because it takes up space that stops them from strapping on a billion more lasers and upping their BV to stupid amounts.
Yep. Autocannons, Gauss rifles, really stupid engine math is another good way to do it. There's a reason why the Gargoyle, despite being kind of poo-pooed, tends to be a very good value pick for clans, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that so much of the mech's tonnage is taken up by its giant 400 rate engine that the weapons it can carry are relatively sedate.
Or we just talked about the Black Lantern and some of my speedy boys they like to bring. The efficient, fast mechs for clans tend to be ones that strap on a whole bunch of low BV guns rather than, a whole bunch of higher to massive BV guns. The speed factor for a clan ERPPC makes some of the mechs with those ridiculously expensive. Versus, look at the Incubus 3 versus the Incubus with an ERPPC. The Incubus 3 is just shy of 1,400 versus the one with the ERPPC is over 2,000. And the actual combat effect, they're the same HP, same movement, same sort of defensive profile, but one has an ERPPC and the other has a Streak SRM6, which ends up it is a much different combat profile.
And speed factor, for those of you playing at home, is the battle value of any given weapon is multiplied by the maximum speed that a mech can travel. So in the case of the Incubus, it can travel 14 hexes, so that is fed through a very silly and complex equation to give you your speed factor, and that multiplies the cost of the gun. Yeah, so the Incubus so the base ERPPC costs 412 battle value. The Incubus, because it has a run speed of it has a maximum run of 14, has a speed factor of 2.16, which means that its single gun costs almost 900 BV.
Yeah.
Yeah, 889.9 BV for 115 damage head chopper, which is nothing to sneeze at, but also, if you are playing on a tight budget, it can be less than ideal compared to your other options.
Like 2 urban mechs.
That one gun is literally, or if you want a better light mech, that's a Spider 9M.
That's
a Spider
2 urban mechs.
That's a Scarabus.
Yeah, it is a Scarabus. But anyway, so when thinking about putting together clan lists, and Nicholas is kind of the one who plays the most of them, can explain how to deal with this as a problem. But
I'm going to actually chime in here for a second, right? Comparing it to the Incubus 3, which is a mech that I've used a lot. I'm looking at the BV breakdown for that right now. Just the weapons, the offensive battle rating for this Incubus is 875.88, right? That's still less than the one ERPPC. And that is for all of its guns versus one of its guns. It's just silly.
This kind of fundamental tension of clan weapons technology and clan weight savings technology in the battle value system is, I would say, the biggest contributing factor to problems when putting together a clan list.
I think another one that comes to mind for me on that front is actually the adder, where the adder is almost always equipped with something absolutely freak-ass huge as a gun, even though it's 35 tons. Where you look at the Prime, it is 2 ERPPCs tied to a targeting computer. Now, granted, it can't sync them. It can't ever sync them because it has a hard-pointed flamer they could have replaced with more heat sinking. But, you know, just the clan invasion was weird like that. It is a 35-ton light mech that is throwing out 2 head choppers, and it is 2,000 BV, almost 2,100. For 300 more, you can have a cheap Kingfisher, or a high-end, I mean, I hate to use the example, but the Atlas, or high-end Battle Masters, or something that actually packs a whole bunch of meat into a package.
If you wanted to, you could bring the Gauss rifle equipped Vulture for less.
For some reason, I thought you meant the Vulcan, and I was really confused.
No,
get your mind out of the periphery.
No.
No, I don't know. This is some weird stuff comes into play, like when you're looking at BV costs and like how expensive things are versus how cheap other things are. And a thing that I have discovered, which has annoyed me because we've been doing a Operation Revival trial, like mini campaign at one of the local stores, and in my Smoke Jaguar force, I was given a Stone Rhino 4.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
That said, I do like that thing.
Oh, is this the? Oh, it's this awful thing.
It's
okay.
the terrible one that I really like.
It's the one that they have the crit slots to have double heat sinks, and they choose to have 17 singles instead.
Oh, this thing is enchantingly terrible. I love it.
Yeah, I really like that loadout.
I think it was Nicholas. I like the loadout. I don't like that it has empty slots and single heat sinks.
Yep.
Because Nicholas, I think, did, like, after I showed it to him, did the math. I was like, if it was just upgraded to doubles, the BV would go up like 200. It would still be cheaper than a lot of other mechs.
It would be cheaper than most other Stone Rhinos.
Yeah. And actually, be able to fire more than one weapon group at a time.
This is so bad. I love it.
I absolutely love that thing, and I want to use it at some point in
I
Iliad,
used it,
just as a shit post.
I used it on Thursday, and my opponent had brought a Stone Rhino 7.
I don't know what's on that.
And 2 large pulse lasers and 3 ER larges, and enough double heat sinks to be able to volley fire the 232, the ER larges, and be heat neutral.
We have Omega at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I declared Zellbriggen against him, and he accepted to have a Stone Rhino off, and mine just flatlined. It lived because the rest of my force killed the rest of his force, and it was just the Stone Rhinos staring each other down. Or not killed, but had basically killed, and he requested Hagra, and I allowed it, and he walked off the board.
For those that don't know, Hagira is honorable retreat declared by clanners.
Also, for those who don't know, it seems like every one of Garner's games, something bad happens to one of his big units, and yet somehow he comes out on top most of the time.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I come out on the bottom.
Okay, so something bad always happens to his big unit, such as they, roll 2s 3 times in a row, fall over, and knock themselves out, and then...
On a skill 3 pilot, sir. That was a skill 3 piloting that missed a kick hitting on 4s. Failed the pilot roll on 2s. Failed the consciousness check. Or failed the seatbelt check, then failed the consciousness check. There was 4 rolls in a row. I cry.
I can confirm, I've never beat Garner without head chopping 2 of his mechs in the same fight.
Sounds about right.
Yep. I get 1 in 36 a lot.
Just sometimes they just got to do it to you. But anyway, so in regards to putting a clan list together, because this is again the thing we're coming back from. This is, like I said, the kind of fundamental tension here is clan technology is too good for the battle value system, and it can lead to incredibly stupid and dumb mechs which will explode instantly on contact with someone who actually knows what they're doing. So, how do you deal with this?
By playing in the golden era like I have been, or the golden century like I have been with my Smoke Jaguars, and having a blast.
For me, it's a lot of leaning on stuff that runs standard fusion engines, so you can't fit as much into it in the first place. So it winds up being cheaper.
That sounds to me remarkably like golden century mechs, like the Spirit Walker.
Nah, I'm thinking more like Kingfishers.
Yeah, that works too. Or, as Nicholas loves to say, a Howler.
The Howler.
I love my Howl. Like, we've had the conversation of like I will give up most all. Like, I'll find different mechs and play Shade Falcon still, but I will struggle to give up the Howler.
As you got like,
I'll give
you
up.
Just get like 3 more this week.
One of them was from me.
I got more. Yes, I'm definitely going to be breaking the Howler. It's my delightful little thing. It'll be annoying. It only has an LRM5. Maybe I'll switch out and bring, switch eras and bring different ones. Or I'll bring back the Devil and use the Howler as a proxy. But the Black Lantern will go. The Turkina will go. Other things will go. But the Howler might be eternal.
I think another thing that I tend to lean a lot on is heavy laser spam, because heavy lasers are straight up just, they offer so much bang for their buck that it's kind of crazy. So like one of the mechs that I'm actually bringing for this current season of Iliad, season 2 of 2026, is the Sphinx 4, which I've run in the past. It is a 5/8 moving heavy clan mech at 75 tons with I think it's almost 100% armor coverage, 94%, with 2 clan large pulse lasers, 10 heavy small lasers, and enough heat sinks to alpha strike pretty much like 3 turns in a row before needing to cool off just a little bit, which means just leaning off of one of the large pulse lasers, and that only costs $19.52.
Yeah, I will say I think heavy lasers are kind of a double-edged sword because they're incredibly heat intensive, which means if you build a mech to use them correctly, you are going to be filling up a lot of tonnage with heat sinks, which do not cost BV. Unfortunately, that also means that they do have the option to completely screw you and just forget to give you heat sinks.
Yeah, that happens a lot with heavy large lasers.
Yeah, which means a good heavy laser mechs hit real hard. The Firemoth H, I think it's the Summoner H is quite I've used in the past, and that's very decent. Speaking of standard lasers, I haven't tried this yet, but I've been eyeballing I think it's the Charlie configuration of the Lupus, which is another Golden Century mech that Seafox brought back.
The Lupus is cool.
Yeah, the Lupus is really cool, but it's targeting compute. It's a 5/8 chassis. It's basically a crossbow Omni-Mech, but it's a little bit lighter with a little bit more pod space and a little bit less armor. And also, they put stuff in the side torsos, so you don't have to worry so much about crit transfers. But one of the later era versions of it is a heavy laser build that has 2 heavy larges, 2 improved heavy larges, 2 improved heavy mediums, a targeting computer, a coolant pod in case you want to alpha strike and not cook yourself, and a supercharger so it can sprint 10 hexes towards you. And I really badly want to try that because that seems like a big barrel of laughs.
Also, another standard fusion engine design.
Yes.
That the thing's going to be hard to put down.
That is why I like it. It takes a lot to chew through one of those mechs, and you don't have to worry about giving it a gunnery upgrade in that heavy laser one, at least.
I do think it's kind of funny when you look at the timeline for variants of the Lupus, where it goes 2857 for the Prime, 2857 for the A, 2857 for the B, and then skip like 300 years to 2147 for the C and the D.
Yep, because it got brought back by CFox as a Ill Clan pick, which
It's also weirdly available to the periphery.
because it's CFox.
So, thinking about us and our various play styles, I know I'm branching into Inner Sphere. I played one season with my Rasselhog list before to sort of, and I enjoyed it. I didn't get the full games in, and so I'm excited to really play through, and I can talk about some of my strategies behind building it. Luke, you kind of play kind of whatever. Nate, you in particular have been struggling with the success of your clan versus Inner Sphere lists, and Garner, I think you're the one who's had the most success using both.
Oh, yeah.
An Inner Sphere and a clan list. So,
I mean, I just like to build really weird stuff and try to use less used things. And I think that honestly does more for me than anything else. Because if people aren't used to fighting against it, they don't really know what to do against it. Like, yeah, like, I still am the only person that I've ever seen put a Coyote on the board. And I've played 2 to 3 different variants of it.
Which is
I've definitely been tempted by it.
Which is crazy because the Coyote is such a strong fundamentals Omnimech, and it has a good plastic model.
Yep. And CFox brings it back. And creates a cool one with a plasma cannon and an ECM.
The reason I haven't run one is because I haven't been wanting to put it on the table to paint it before I use it.
Well, I've been painted. Mine is painted, but no. But like, I don't know. It's I think that's really most of the successes. I'm just picking things that people aren't used to farting around with. Like, my last clan list was I brought an Iron Cheetah, which is just a de-shelled direwolf that moves a little faster. It's a 4/6 instead of a 3/5. And it did what it needed to do. It shot things and only dies to a certain individual in this podcast only hitting the leg with every single gun. The same gun on the same leg.
I do think I play a bunch of things that people aren't used to fighting, and then bringing up maybe one of the most optimized clan mechs.
And have you seen one on the board other than mine?
Other than you, not actually. No, I have.
I haven't.
the fact that there isn't an Iron Cheetah in plastic is kind of a
that's a lot.
A sign.
Hey, there's not a Spirit Walker in plastic. Wait, hang on.
Same with the Night Chanter. Wait.
Yeah, actually, that was a lot of fun last season. That's why I'm resubmitting that list to play this season so I can actually play it. But, anyways, no, it's just like what I end up doing, because the list building is drastically different between what we do locally with Iliad and what most people do. Most people don't build sideboards. Sideboards are not a real thing anywhere else.
No, that's a fake thing that we've come up with.
So, like, that's really, I think, one of the bigger reasons that I've had more success is because I tend to bring more toolbox mechs. And I can swap them in and out to where I need to have them. Or units, I guess. Primarily mechs. I think I've brought, like, 3 vehicles in the entire 2 years that I've been playing Iliad.
Yeah. I think that that's one of the kind of the strengths of the Inner Sphere from a list building perspective over clans, and that's not to say clans can't do this. They can a little bit through things like vehicles and battle armor, and especially if you play with master unit list instead of just the tech bases, you get access to a lot of royal mechs and a couple of random Inner Sphere imports that they keep around in Brian caches. One of the kind of big benefits of the Inner Sphere is you can put a 1200 BV mech on the board, and it will probably have okay armor, and it will have something useful it can do. It might not be much, because it might have just like one terrible gun and then a bunch of E-War equipment, but you will be able to do at least something with it.
How dare you slander the Raven's name like that?
Oh, I'm very specifically thinking of a fire starter I've used way too much, actually.
But
Yeah, the Ravens are all sub 1K as far as I'm aware as well.
yeah, but when you say E-War equipment, I think like the original Raven with literal
Yeah.
E-War equipment.
Oh yeah, the early Raven is not good. No, I'm the mech I am thinking of in this case, I believe, is the it's I think probably cheaper than I thought it was. There we are. And it has doesn't actually have any E-War equipment. I'm thinking of the Firestarter Golf configuration for the Omni Mech, which has an LBX5 and then 3 ER medium lasers. No, not ER mediums, just normal mediums.
Most
We love
efficient.
putting small grade autocannons on light mechs.
Say again, Garner?
I was say that it's the OG. I don't know, I like.
Yeah.
Was it the OE? The one with the MRM-20 and a sword?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
No, speaking earlier, how much I liked clan mechs that had autocannons that sucked up so much of the tonnage and crits that they couldn't overdo their BVs. In some sense, I feel the opposite when it comes to Inner Sphere, some Inner Sphere mechs and autocannons, where I look at it and go, man, if you didn't have that AC5, you could fit a more engine, more armor, more something.
Yeah, the AC5 is, especially with intro attack mechs, the AC5 is a bad weapon. We can maybe at some point talk about the ammunition changes from the new core rules are going to, I think, cause some issues with how much they've buffed armor piercing. But yeah, base autocannon 2s and 5s are they're in a rough state.
Light to medium Inner Sphere mechs with autocannon 2s and 5s that are, running at 6.9, with like 24% armor, and you just think, come on, man, just toss out the autocannon, put some more armor, more engine on there, jump jets, something.
Hey, we were just talking about the Clint last weekend.
I was gonna say, why is our glorious ugly 6-shooter boy getting slandered like this?
Catching them strays.
Yeah.
Well, I was feeling very sad about the Valkyrie QD2. You were making me feel sad. I love that little guy.
Is that the one with the 2 light AC2s tied to a targeting computer?
Maybe. You might have fought it before in one of my lists.
2 light AC2s, an ER medium laser, and a targeting computer for get this, 638 BV, and it is a 585. That's kind of fine.
Not awful.
I love
It
that
just
little
didn't really
guy.
do anything when I fought it.
Yes, but imagine it with armor-piercing rounds.
I was mainly getting my face beat in by a stalker at like my 4th game of the day.
Yeah, this is a contraption.
I love this contraption.
See, as someone who's branching into Inner Sphere, my experience with my list has generally been like, I'm happy with a lot of the units I picked, and I watch them, and they're doing stuff, and then I look. I think literally this happened in a test game with Garner, where something was about to die, and I was looking. It's like, oh, if you kill that, it's 8 points in this mission, and I'm still ahead by like something or whatever. Like, go ahead, kill it. Like, it's doing a bunch of work, and I'm just surprised at how much it can get done for how little BV it is. Because I'm used to things being more expensive in order to actually have a significant gameplay impact.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I think the big difference is it basically comes down to the thing the Inner Sphere does well is you can get mechs that can have presence on the board for cheap. If you want cheap presence in clans, and we didn't really talk about this, you need to use battle armor.
And I hate it.
Battle armor is so good for cheap presence.
And this came up in a conversation with Garner about how it's like, I don't think battle armor is that bad. And I have to pause and go, I've mostly used battle armor on other people. I have not so much been the receiver of battle armor pain.
This is correct. This is correct.
Luke, did you remember what you said while you were making the noise with your paint cup?
Yeah, something about the swarm of toads.
If you don't have a plan for the swarm of toads,
yeah,
you should have one. Problem is, if it's assault or heavy battle armor, is there a VTOL or carrier on the board?
Yeah. Well, I think so. Assault and heavy battle armor, I think a little bit less so. It can be difficult to deal with. I think assault battle armor, the big kind of reason why the elementals are the gold standard that they are is they're tricky enough to hit and they're also tough enough that they're quite tanky. The issue that I've seen people run into with assault battle armor, and this includes because I've played against some of your lists in Mega Mech, Nicholas. Once you are only like moving like 1 or 2 hexes a turn, yes, they are very frustrating if your opponent can entrench them, but they are also now much more hittable in general than they would be otherwise.
Something I wanted to add before was on the topic of Nicholas assigning a lot of hurt using battle armor to other people and never really dealing with it himself, is mainly that Jade Falcons have a lot of very heavily specialized, like high-end battle armor, like Iron Holds and Stormbirds. Like, they have so much like high-end battle armor that is just implacable half the time.
And they're all
where
fire
you can't
resistant.
remove it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was you can't remove it the normal way you would with battle armor. You have to point actual guns at it, on top of the fact that you're dealing with a Black Lantern in your back arc or a Turkina right in front of you. I think a lot of it, the reason that battle armor gets kind of an uneven spread across the board is that certain factions just have stronger battle armor.
Yes.
Yep. The fact that just even elementals are 10 armor 1 structure makes them a million times better than most Inner Sphere variants, because 11 damage, not as common as 10 damage.
I mean, I'll throw out a thought here. I appreciate opinions on. So when I've encountered other people using battle armor, people are often using faster battle armor that has sort of like a different gimmick, which often makes them they have less total health, and so despite having a higher TMM and some interesting interactivity, they often they die faster, or their guns are less impactful to the point of a lot of times I can just kind of ignore them. You've got your moves 4 or 5 battle armor on the board, and okay, you're going to try to do something with them, but for the most part they just haven't seemed as combat effective as just a unit of elementals or stormbirds or iron holes that's just like, yeah, it doesn't move very far, but it has AP Gauss. It dominates to a certain extent the area that it's in, because it is extremely accurate. It doesn't pay to the movement penalty, so it is effectively 2 gunnery higher right off the bat.
So no, the bigger problem is, Nicholas, is that you have access to clan battle armor.
Yeah.
Inner Sphere battle armor does not have nearly as many weapon mounts and stuff. So yes, you can have AP Gauss rifle to 4 AP Gauss rifles mixed with some amount of SRMs. We are lucky if we get 1 flamer and a SRM launcher, and in order for us to be able to use our jump movement, we have to jettison the freaking SRM launcher.
Yeah,
That's also true.
Yeah, I want you to go
spoiled.
take a look at. Yeah, it's you get modern assault battle armor. I want you to go look up the Kanazuchi.
Like, I was...
How do you even spell that?
Kanaz, and then it's the only thing you're gonna find.
Yeah.
But also, like, even
Kanazuchi assault battle armor.
looking at, like, Grenadiers, I was sending you links for Grenadiers. Your stuff is just 10 times better than a squad of Grenadiers, and the squad of Grenadiers costs more. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep, this is where things are on the other foot, where Inner Sphere battle armor is very bad in a lot of, or not very bad. Inner Sphere battle armor is incredibly okay, and clan battle armor is very good. Is, I think, the better way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Kanazuchi assault battle armor, the support version that comes with a one-shot SRM-3, another one-shot SRM-3, and an SRM-4, and it has 9 shots of SRM-4 for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of SRM, and it is, what's its movement? Movement 1, doesn't even have jump.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like I said, you have been spoiled.
Like, it's like 9 shots, and it's like that. Okay, my 368 BV versus my Stormbird bird battle armor here at 625.
Also, remember, it's 4 troopers versus 5.
Yep.
And troop
Right.
cost.
So the fourth
you
one
even have
is
less dude.
yeah 464. So 100 BV more for something with jump 2. SRM-3, 4 shots, and a Gauss rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And an extra guy.
Also, the Stormbird is heavy, so and not assault, so it can mechanize.
Well, it's fire resistant instead of normal armor, so
Yeah.
you can't kill them using Infernos.
I do love my Jade Falcon Stormbirds
Yeah.
on a Howler. It's stupid.
They are very
It's
good.
it's
Wait,
really dumb.
They also have bag clamps.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, they do.
hilarious.
They get strapped to my Howler, my Jump 7 Howler.
Oh,
Trying
God.
to test out prototype lists for Richmond against Nicholas has been hell.
Tell me about it.
Because of the Stormbirds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are gonna show up with it. Are they? I forget. They have basically put the kibosh on artillery cannons, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna say that seems like the most effective way to get rid of them.
It kind of is.
It definitely impacted a game I played against Murph last season, where if I hadn't put my BA on the obvious artillery spot that didn't delete it, I definitely would have won that game. and if I hadn't fallen backwards into my open torso again,
why don't you just stop being bad?
I definitely
this is just
would've
karma.
Yeah. So if dice were just a little less awful, it would have been 80-20. In any case, yeah, no, I'm spoiled by my battle armor versus other people. It is something that has dawned on me. So when Garner complains and says he's not going to miss them when they're gone, at least for a while.
I didn't add that
Yeah,
last
I get
one.
It might have been implied.
I did not imply that. You will know if I imply that.
Will you miss them when they're gone?
I will not miss them on a train or a plane. I will not miss them anywhere.
Yeah. So the when we do switch over to core rules and battle armored vehicles are nowhere to be seen for a period of time, Garner's going to have a happy, pleasant time.
I will be jumping for joy.
Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to justify Marauder battle armor.
I mean, I
Pull that up.
you can justify it. It's
okay. I'm
It's very cheap.
I just submitted my Richmond list while we were talking.
Oh my god.
I committed.
All it took was the podcast.
No, I realized I looked it up and it is the 26th when lists are due, and I want to make sure it's in since I'm going to be gone for most of the week at a wedding. So I wanted to make sure I didn't lose it.
Yep. But yeah, I've been looking at Marauder battle armor for a good minute now because one, I think they look funny, and two, they actually pack a decent chunk of firepower while still being able to magnetize to something. So you can actually transport them.
Yep.
Some of my Inner Sphere builds, I was playing around with Inner Sphere magnetic battle armor, magnetic standard battle armor, and I just...
Oh, magnetic standard is so good.
And then I just I give them like a gunnery 5 or 6 and piloting 3, or anti-mech 3, and then just run them up and just try to leg cap people.
There's a lot of, at least for the Inner Sphere, something to look on the bright side about in regards to battle armor is that most of it is stupid cheap.
Yes.
Like sub 400.
Hey, those of you out in the internet space, members of the Odysseus Legion, we are trying an online sort of bi-weekly event, a hobby hangout where everybody comes. You can listen in, you can pop on mic, you can pop on camera, show off what you're doing. The idea is everybody wants a little bit more encouragement to paint, to handle their pile of shame, to work on their projects well. Bi-weekly on Sundays at 6 o'clock, we're going to try to do a community hobby hangout where everybody's just doing something. No need to speak, no need to show up on camera. Just grab project, hang out. You don't even have to have a project. Just come hang out. So Nate, you've had some struggles switching between different factions while building lists. What do you think those struggles are, and how successful do you think you've been dealing with them?
I would say the biggest problem that I have, because I play... If you want to get technical, I literally have like 45 factions, but we're not being technical, so it's closer to 7, probably. So I would say the biggest problem that I have is honestly just figuring out a game plan at the start in a lot of cases, because I'm honestly just bad at planning ahead for a scenario, because I tend to just approach with a show up and see what happens mentality when I build lists. So I'll just build something that I think can handle a lot of situations, and I'll often wind up in situations where exactly that is not what I needed. So something that often happens is I'll take my Lyrans, for example. My Lyrans tend to wind up being pretty big and chunky, not very fast, but definitely pretty tough. and very armed to the gills with brawling distance weaponry, but I will often wind up struggling when it comes to long range unless I bring my Thunderhawk, in which case that has that covered in spades, because that's 3 Gauss rifles on a stick that you have to hit with another Thunderhawk to kill. But then it comes down to, like, I often wind up struggling on the speed half of things because of that, because I didn't prepare for speed, as an example. But then there's another one where, like, if I switch to my Scorpion Empire forces, enough of my stuff winds up being too expensive because it's clan, while being unable to fit in as many, like, quality players as far as my sensibilities are concerned. Like, something that winds up showing up often enough is a Warhawk, but a Warhawk often winds up being, I suppose, outpaced in terms of what it can do by most of what my opponents bring, because I think maybe I commit maybe a little too much to going generalist on it when I should be leaning into the specialization. But switching between generalization with an inner sphere force catches me off guard when I switch to clans, because the clans want to be more specialized on that front. So I would say the biggest problem that I have is trying to adopt a proper mindset that actually applies to the faction that I'm playing, where either I try to spread myself too thin on when I play clans, or I don't focus up enough when I play inner sphere.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think about the times I've played both of your sort of your Wall of Steel versus your Scorpion Empire lists. And I definitely think I had a harder time playing against you as the Steiner Wall of Steel, because I have to chew through so much. And when you're playing the clans, there's fewer units. Each individual unit has to pull more weight, and so you don't have the same board presence. And I think positioning in that sense feels easier to move around you and deal with.
Yeah.
Because that is another thing to think about, of if you have fewer units on the board, just in terms of creating space for your opponent to move around and interact with.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense. I do sometimes struggle with when I don't have an extra body, like playing Inner Sphere, I almost never have that problem. But when I play clans, I often find that I don't have that extra body to come and fill a gap in the line where I need it to be, so that I can deny the enemy, like, some move or another, or adapt to a situation where it needs to be taken care of.
Like, your strong suit is often King of the Hill, and your weakness
100%.
is definitely, and your weakness is definitely Demolition.
Oh, also yes.
You're one of the few people who has told me that they don't like that mission.
I struggle so hard with the Demolition game mode. I just don't know what it is. I just can't get it.
That to me speaks to the whole concept of sometimes you can build a good list, but if it doesn't match the way you play and the way your brain works, it's still not going to work. And understanding, I've been talking to Gardner about this, because he was struggling with lists for a while there.
Oh, I'm still struggling with it. I'm just committing, and I'm just saying I just don't care anymore. Nothing is meshing with me because of the list restrictions.
But trying to say, like, if he puts up like 2 lists in front of me, it's like, what do you think of these ones? Which one? It's like, which one do you think you'd have more fun with? Which one matches your play style?
Neither is the answer.
Gardner is a bit amorphous, so it doesn't always necessarily work, but it is something for people out there or other people to consider, of like, if there's a way you like to play, first of all, don't necessarily be me and don't move away from what you enjoy playing. You could definitely vary your forces more than I have, but also don't be afraid to, stick to what you're good with, stick to what you enjoy, and work around that instead of trying to force yourself into. You don't have to play C3 if you don't want to. If that's not the way you want to play, it's not the way you enjoy playing, then don't feel like you need to make a C3 list just to do it.
And if you decide that you need to have a Black Lantern in your force, we have a support group for you.
Something else I was going to add, because I just thought of it, was there's another factor I tend to throw in to my list building, which is I really don't want to necessarily make my opponent angry, so I tend to temper my choices at list building so that I'm not showing up with 16 Gauss rifles and just pounding them to death from standoff range, because that doesn't sound like fun for them.
Or, 12 clan medium pulse lasers attached to targeting computers, or VTOLs, or 37 clan large pulse lasers,
37?
whatever.
What the heck?
I just went with a number. I'm still thinking about that 17,000 BV dropship with 21 clan large pulse lasers.
Excuse me, what?
There's an Ontos out there that probably has that many clan large pulse lasers on it.
Not a chance in bucko. Not a chance.
So, Luke, I don't know if you there's a drop ship. It's the Titan something or other, and it has 21 or 22 clan large pulse lasers. I encountered it in Megamech. There's one that I have fought in a mission that popped up, and it just had a stupid number of clan large pulse lasers, and trying to deal with it was an absolute nightmare. It was a mission where my star was 30,000 BV, the enemy forces were 90,000 BV. I had to destroy the dropship before it took off. I had 12 turns to do it. I didn't realize what it had until I got on the board, because normally the dropship forces is like, okay, like a union and a bunch of stuff, and you can kill it and run away. And I thought, okay, even if they outnumber me 3-1, I can probably do this, because just kill it and run. Well, I didn't realize that it was 17,000 BV of dropship with that many pulse lasers, and the moment you get in range, when you have 200 damage of large pulse lasers standing still shooting at you, you're kind of screwed, particularly because your unit is all medium mechs. The one thing I had was 2 Stormcrow primes with all of their ER large lasers that outranged it, so I put them in the position to shoot at it. The problem was the enemy forces also had aerospace bombers and artillery. And I used the 3 other members of my star to try to protect the Stormcrows from the aerospace, and they were doing an okay enough job where things were going okay. But then the artillery didn't just hit; it hit with laser inhibiting smoke in front of the firing position for my Stormcrows. And at that point, I was just no, I'm not gonna be able to kill this dropship before it takes off. This is a failed mission. I'm leaving. It's the only mission I've lost in that entire Megamech campaign. Because, So, yeah, sometimes you just show up and your opponent has just stupid stuff.
Yeah, sounds it.
Shout out to anti-TSM LRMs that end up on like 90% of the LRM mechs you fight.
Oh, that's so hilarious when it randomly happens. Like the moment they enter like legal rotation, right? The like somehow they put this stamp on like, we've built the factory, we can now start producing them way over in Davian space. It means that suddenly way over in Cretan space, or wherever the other side of the galaxy, that next day somehow all of the archers just have anti-TSM ammo in them immediately.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
Megamech is funny sometimes. Luke,
Mm-hmm.
you are, I think, probably the most flexible here about the lists you build.
There's a very simple reason for that.
What is that reason?
Which is I build the list first, and then I find a faction to put it in later.
Womp womp womp.
Like that is what is happening 90% of the time when you see one of my lists is I come up with an idea that I want to see on the table, and then I confabulate myself a way to make that happen. Is what's going on.
And that's how you end up playing Capellans.
No, I play Capellans because okay, so there is another way that I play, which is the way that I choose my paint jobs is I need a faction which A, can plausibly throw down with a lot of different other factions, and B, has that shit on. And unfortunately, Capellans do have that shit on.
Sometimes. There's some weirdos.
There are definitely random Capellan mechs that I just look at and go like, man, that mech designer was smoking something good that day.
Hey,
yeah, there's a lot of Capellan mechs where they have good design sense.
There is gold in that hay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of hay.
This is true. Yes. I mean, listen. Yeah, they have some of the most like aggressive. They have some of the best tech in the game. They do not always use it for good purposes. Is I think the big thing.
Often winding up with TSM and stealth armor plus a plasma rifle.
Yeah, if that's the thing, is it's a lot of tech that you really don't want to be stacking.
And they do it a lot.
Less than you'd think, but also yeah, there's a lot that they do that's quite goofy.
I mean, stealth TSM doesn't sound too bad off the bat.
The problem is they do stealth. The problem is there's this Capellan doctrine of you're using TSM to fight through an incredibly hot alpha strike, where you're alpha striking to like 13 heat, and then you're using TSM to ignore the heat penalties so you can run away.
Yep.
That's not.
Which is less good.
They also often have a lot of high heat weaponry attached to their stealth armor mechs as well.
And also not great ways to modulate.
I don't know about not great, but yeah, they can have some issues. But I will say, generally what I do when I am coming up with a list is not quite the same as some of the stuff that Garner is getting up to, but it's there are kind of some similarities where you talked about the idea of the like mech toolbox, and that is also something that I usually think about when I am building my lists, where you want to have your list, you want to partially cater it to making sure you have what are the words I'm looking for here? You want your list building to have a couple of basically mechs which are serving as answers that are cheap enough that you can throw them into a problem and sacrifice them without losing that much tempo.
Expendable assets.
Yeah, you want some of your mechs to be fairly expendable. So in my case, like, and I think often, usually for me, this is actually where I will tend to dip into specific clan tech, because there is nothing quite as one shot, one kill as a Fire Moth H, and it is comically available for big chunks of the timeline, which make it a great include in a lot of lists of just being like, here is some hot nonsense that I can throw at a problem and cause issues.
Fire moths are another one of those things that I know I personally haven't had too much of a problem dealing with, but I also bring a force that is unusually fast with some sort of a counter pulse, where it's more difficult for a fire moth to take advantage of it. We also have a meta where most of us upgrade our main combat unit to Gunnery 3, which definitely skews the curve down in terms of handling a stupid, fast, fragile thing.
So does shooting woods, which they're getting rid of. Big sad.
Yeah. Well, so I will say the reason why I think fire moths are good and useful in a lot of circumstances has a lot less to do with the fire moth being used in the role that I think you're kind of ascribing to it, which is like, you're not necessarily looking for you're not necessarily looking to throw it at someone multiple times. It is a cheap unit that can rip around into something's back and deliver a crippling to killing amount of damage, and you can threaten that all game without pulling the trigger on it, and you can use it as a battle armor delivery system. Like, you can play a fire moth fairly conservatively, and you can keep it hidden from a lot of the map in a lot of cases, because it has such a high movement speed that it will get where it needs to go the turn when it is needed. So that is one where I tend to keep one of those on deck just as a little treat.
Yeah, I just find that fire moths are often, they play that whole BV problem of the speed factor, where they have no armor, they die to, particularly when you're playing clans, they get hit by most guns, they start to disappear off the board immediately. And it's a lot of BV to invest into a movement threat like that. It's a lot of BV to, even for the low BV ones, where I know personally the way I play, again, I play with a lot of light, fast units, where maybe if I didn't have the Black Lantern, maybe if I didn't have the Howler or some other things acting in a forward operative space, I would have more room for something like a Fire Moth to engage, or, you know, if my forces weren't what they were, someone using a Fire Moth against me would feel more impactful. But yeah, I don't know. I say it from a personal experience of I haven't seen them be as threatening or as powerful of assets as other people have, and it's just a question of like, okay, why is that? Is that they're just not good, or is it just the how they interact with my playstyle?
No, the specific reason why is the same reason that most people have a problem playing against you, because you only select units with flippy arms.
Yeah.
That is actually the reason, and you're beating around the bush. If it doesn't have flippy arms, you don't take it.
Lack of flippy arms, I think the other one here is, because I think the other one here is you don't play enough assault mechs for it to matter.
And the ones you do have flippy arms.
You don't even play enough heavy mechs for that to matter.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, that's what it boils down to. Like, the Scarabus is an absolute demon to everybody but you, who's just like, whatever, flip arm.
Yeah, it is. It was it Sam who had a fire mouth who got a hit, and I just flipped my arms back with a Black Lantern to like delete it off the board.
That's the bigger thing.
That's about right.
Like, I still think there should be some kind of penalty, even if it's like a +1 to hit when you flip your arms.
I think I've made Garner have a vendetta against arm flipping.
Have extreme dislike of flippy arms. Because you're not trading away anything. There's no trade for there is no trade deal.
Woe, curse of lower arm actuators be upon you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You lose crit padding.
Yeah, sure.
You can't punch very well.
You don't punch ever. You just kick things.
You own.
I have a punch monkey for punching.
That's true.
Yep. You come up with all these reasons as to like why these things aren't your problem. No, there's literally one specific reason why you're able to do most of what you do, and it's because flippy arms.
Yeah. Flippy arms effectively means you have 360-degree arc of firing with your arm guns.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is incredibly powerful. Also, I mean, Omnimex do to a certain extent enforce flippy arms.
No, only if you have paired in each side, because I have an absolutely silly amount of mechs that have one arm with that can flip, and the other arm can't. And if both can't flip, you can't flip your arms.
Sounds like you just need to be playing with more AP Gauss rifles.
I tried to bring 6 on one Nova, and I got yelled at.
Was it the Nova S?
It was the
Who
Nova
is
R.
yelling at you?
R. That's
Nicholas
the one.
and Chris both like, no, you're just gonna turn your pilot into brain soup.
I
I-
really don't think that the massed AP Gauss rifles is as much of a risk as people give it credit for.
No, it's a thing that can happen.
Yeah. Just because it can happen doesn't mean it will happen, and I don't think that should
You-
deter you from
I
trying
mean-
to use it.
I literally just brought up these 2 times in the past month where my Devastator has fallen asleep on like the first hit it took.
Sure, but that's just BattleTech, man.
Yeah, but it consistently happens to me. It's not even a like
Yeah.
I'm outside the bell curve.
I think basing things on what can happen off of your bad luck of the past is going to limit your choices of what you should bring.
I've seen what he plays. It sure doesn't right now.
Like, I had probably like a 2-month period, like 2 years ago at this point, where I was losing 2 to 3 mechs a game on headshots, and I was playing like twice a week.
Yeah.
And then it just never happened again. I haven't lost a mech to a headshot in probably like a year and a half.
I haven't won an initiative roll off in 4 games.
I mean, you won some of the ones you played against me.
Yeah,
You
but the
won a
past
few.
4 games, I have won a single initiative roll off out of 8 rounds per game.
Initiative compensation is important, I think.
I mean, I've just pushed my bad luck onto my opponents. Ask Nicholas when he gets kicked in the back with a Devastator boot.
Yeah, the weirdness is happening to me. No, and like speaking of flippy arms, I'm looking through, and I keep needing to confirm because the Warhawk C
Has
should
arms.
have flippy arms, but the record sheet that I'm looking at on Megamech Lab right now has a lower arm actuator in the right arm.
Ooh.
That might be an error.
I think it is because I think you're not supposed
not
to have a lower
supposed
arm
to.
actuator with a large
You are
pulse
not
laser.
supposed to.
No, that's not true. It's PPCs, Gauss rifles, and autocannons are the things that remove.
Mech Lab also
Oh,
has.
You said the C. The C does have is the one with the 2 pulses in the arm.
Yeah.
Yep. The C has the lower arm actuator.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to. I
Interesting.
guess I've now cursed you to run the Warhawk C. Congratulations.
However,
Why would
It
you curse
is-
us with that?
interestingly enough, it is where is it? I saw it here. The H. The right arm has 2 large pulse lasers and an LRM-10. No flippy, but no lower arm actuator. So that one does flip arms.
Go look where the ammo is for that LRM-10, by the way.
In the opposite arm, I know. Remember, Warhawks.
so dumb.
Warhawks are a Clan Smoke Jaguar invention, so I love them
And I am a Scorpions guy, so I'm the only one with any left.
because you stole the plans from my decaying corpse.
All right, moving on to games played.
Unrelated, but really quick before we do that, I completely forgot that streaks just force you to roll a 7 if you have AMS. Or AMS
Yeah.
forces you to roll a 7. I always kept doing the -4, and I was annoyed that streak 2s just ignored AMS, but now I'm just an idiot. Anyways. Also, AMS can pop narcs.
Yes.
I knew they could hit thunderbolts, but
Yeah, you can also BM a narc list and just be like, yeah, your whole thing doesn't work against me.
Oh yeah, thunderbolts are interesting and annoying, with the idea that AMS kind of just counters that.
it's a
It's kinda
50-50
silly.
remove your missile.
Well, on the other side, if you have a mixed list of Thunderbolts and LRMs, it is hilarious because people will hyper focus on the Thunderbolt and try and get rid of those instead of actually dealing with your normal LRMs.
But yeah, anyways, moving on. I was closing out stuff on my screen and I was still on the AMS page.
Yeah.
All right, anybody want to go first?
Oh boy. We can jointly talk about. I think I've had, like I said, I've played 2 games in the past week. I think one of them wasn't anything worth talking about, and the other one was me versus Nate with some advanced tech, and mostly just the dice decided that game. Nate, do you want to go over what you brought, and then I will go over what I brought?
So the list that I wound up bringing to Luke's place last weekend was, I am being kind of slow on this as I try to bring it up so I can refresh myself on what it was that I had. Okay, I've got it right here. So what I brought was, I tried to limit myself mainly to Lyran Alliance and Lyran Commonwealth, so that might inform some of the weirdness. First off, I had a Gunslinger 3 ERD, which is a 85-ton assault mech that moves 352, has a Clan XL engine instead of a Innersphere XL engine, so it's actually pretty durable underneath all of the ballistic reinforced armor it has. It has a pair of Gauss rifles, a set of 4 Clan ER medium lasers, some X pulses. 2 of them are mounted to the butt for some reason. And it's honestly just a pretty good mid-range sniper duelist. The second thing that I had was an absolute creature of a mech, the Zeus X3, which is it is an 80-ton assault mech that moves 588. It has composite structure, so if you go past the armor, it takes double damage. And then it has a 400 XXL engine, meaning it gets real hot, and its weapons are kind of mid, to be honest. It's a ERPPC Inner Sphere and 4 Inner Sphere ER medium lasers, all tied to a targeting computer. And effectively, what I had it, for $21.78 is what this thing costed, and I basically had it there to quickly get to a forward objective and then play it like a normal assault mech. It didn't end up working out that way because I was fighting things that kill assault mechs, but we'll get to that. Thirdly, I had a Wolfhound 6S, so 35-ton light mech, moves 711, Innersphere XL engine, decent armor coverage, large re-engineered laser bolstered with AES, 3 ER medium lasers, Inner Sphere, and a rear-mounted small X-Pulse. And then lastly, I had a Succession Wars era Mongoose 67, which is just 3 Inner Sphere medium lasers and a small laser tied to Inner Sphere single heat sinks. And that was kind of it. It's pretty cheap.
It's a good mech. Also, for reference, the AES is Actuator Enhancement, which gives a -1, which is incompatible with targeting computers. And the Ballistic Reinforced Armor, because I had to look this up, is it reduces the damage of incoming missile and ballistic weapon attacks against the mech by up to half. But there's some weirdness around single damage pings that it still lets through.
Yep, it is a minimum 1 pip destroyed with every shot that hits it, but it is not. It doesn't carry over odd numbered damage, basically. So if you throw 3 damage at it, it will only take the first 2, and destroy a pip. But if you throw an LBX at it that does 1 damage per cluster, then each of those will also just destroy a pip.
Yeah, it's a weird armor type, and honestly, given aside from Ferrolamellar, I think it might actually be one of the best armor types, just because it ignores relasers, because lasers just do normal damage to it anyway, and it catches so many things. It's pretty nifty, and I would like to see more of that.
It actually was like that gunslinger was honestly like, other than how unlucky they tend to be when I bring them, it put up with a lot of hurt. Like, I'm looking at the damage sheet right now. By the end of the game, it had hit 28 heat, and it only had like 4 pips left on the left leg and like 20 pips on the right, and the rest of the armor was gone.
Yep. Meanwhile, on my side, I brought Old Dependable, the Firemoth H, which did Firemoth stuff. A Dark Crow 2, I believe, which is kind of a weird riff on it's kind of a clan riff on the Lancelot, and specifically like the weird autocannon Lancelots, where it has 2 LBX5s and an ER large laser attached to a targeting computer, and it has a small laser as well. But it's mostly just there to kind of run around and plink you at long range with good hit numbers. It's surprisingly cheap for a clan mech that's a medium. I enjoyed it quite a lot. And then I also, because I wanted to play with Advanced Tech, brought a Merlin C and a War Crow.
I think it was the C, wasn't it?
It was a War Crow C. And those are both Snow Raven Ferrolamellar mechs, which if you have not had the displeasure of playing against Ferrolamellar,
I vomited a little.
It reduces every amount of up to 5 damage that gets taken by 1. So a Gauss rifle does 12 damage against it. SRMs do 1 damage against it. LBX pellets do nothing against the armor. It is one of the most powerful armor types in the game. Actually, no, scratch that. It is the most powerful armor type in the game.
The most interesting thing about Ferrolam is that, say you take a magic BB to the head from the LBX-10, you don't even take a head hit from it.
Nope. Vehicles do still take motive checks, though.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you can't armor the motive system itself.
Well, you can,
unless it's armored motive system.
Yeah, but it's specifically, even if you do no damage, it still can throw a track on the tank. Yep. But so the War Crow is the War Crow I took is kind of a cooker. It uses a bunch of ER lasers and ATMs, and it can really only fire a couple of those at a time. The Merlin, on the other hand, I kind of just threw it in on a whim because I have the model and I haven't used it before.
I think it's a monster.
The Merlin C is an absolute beast of a mech if we want to talk about standard engine clan tech.
That is fantastic.
It has an ERPPC and a Streak LRM5 for long range. And then in close, it also has 2 improved heavy lasers and a flamer and a heavy machine gun, which mostly don't really do that much. It has maximum Ferrolam. It can sink all of its weapons on a run. It has 4 jump jets. It can run up to 6 hexes a turn. And it has a standard engine, which makes it a hell of a brawler for the incredibly cheap price of...
Wasn't it like 1,600 something?
1870, which is, for what you get, very good.
Yeah, that thing is a house.
Yeah. Also, it's not 100%, but it's 84% of the maximum armor it can take, which is enough to give most things pause.
I'm a big fan of mechs right around the 1,900 level of cost, particularly in clan specs. You can get effectiveness out of them, because that is about the point where you can either field them in doubles, or you can field it with something more expensive and have a little bit of room left over for some extras. where it's not such a huge portion of your force in a 7 or 8K game that its loss is completely devastating, but it's enough of an investment that it can really play an important role in the battlefield. You can upgrade them and still have some wiggle room. That 19, that just shy of 2,000 point is just on the BV curve. So nice when you get there just right.
Yes.
And that looks like a good one for it.
Yeah, this is in with the core book kind of forcing more people into playing with Pharaoh Lamb, especially locally. I think this thing is probably going to end up showing up a lot, because this is this is just kind of no muss, no fuss. Some fuss. A very, very effective brawler. But yeah, we ended up playing Raise the Flag, and Nate tried to assault onto his flag, which was on my side of the field, to try scoring points off of it, and ran directly into the brick wall, which was this thing's close range armament.
I would like to just interrupt really quick. It's crazy that for the first the first full year of playing Iliad, nobody played Raise the Flag, and now that seems to be the only thing people are playing, which is just crazy to me.
That's because we introduced it halfway through the year, Garner.
Yeah, but I'm saying
crazy how this mission type that we introduced during the summer has been getting played a lot since then.
No. It did not get played until we switched the point system over. I asked people, and nobody said they specifically avoided it. But statistically speaking, people were definitely avoiding playing it in the old point scoring. I think switching it over, where it's no longer the 4 total points, it's now 80 points. So Raise the Flag has a bit more nuance to it, makes it a lot more approachable, a lot easier to understand, and a little less weirdly swingy, so that people are really enjoying it. It's allowed that format, that mission structure to really blossom, where people are interested in playing it and not lying, saying they're choosing not to play it. So Garner's definitely right in this. Nobody was playing Raise the Flag until we switched the point scoring.
I would like it to be added that what we rolled to determine what match we were doing, we rolled Supply Raid. We picked Raise the Flag because I told Luke, I have never gotten Raise the Flag a single time, so I have no idea how that works.
and it's not demolition, so you were happy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest here. As long as it's not demolition, I'm fine.
Yeah, but as a mission type, I quite like it because it forces you to split your attention between 2 different zones to both keep your opponent from winning and also to push your own victory points at the same time. It's a good format for that.
Was that all of the units that you brought, Luke?
Oh, I had a stand of clan rabid battle armor as well.
That's what it was. I remember there being 5.
Which is this is just one of the kind of alternatives that you can take to elementals, where they, instead of having 10 armor, 1 point of dude, have 9 and 1, and for that you get your 2 loads of SRMs as one-shot missiles that you can rip off in 1 turn, and you also get an extra point of jump movement. They're also significantly cheaper.
Yep.
Which makes them very, very effective at being little dinguses that can just kind of run around the board doing leg attacks.
And they are
He did
also...
leave me in kind of a pickle when he rolled those up with the Fire Moth and the Gunslinger, being that it only has 2 jump jets, could not adequately escape from them.
No.
I mean,
that's why I take them.
To be fair, it's weird that you weren't running them because they are a Nova Cat invention.
Well, I was playing Lyrans.
I'm just saying, like...
The Rabid also don't have battle claws. They just have basic manipulators, and I forget exactly what that does
If you
mechanically.
have 2 of them, you can still do a normal leg attack
Yeah.
and still mechanize.
And swarm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the answer is for the purposes of normal play, it does nothing. Over like they still have full swarm and leg attack abilities.
The other
They're
thing-
also missing the secret thing that most people forget about elementals, which is the anti-personnel mount.
Yeah, sure, but also like they get 1 turn of shooting, and then every other turn they're on the board and active, they're going to be doing anti-mech attacks.
No.
Yeah, the other thing that battle claws do is they bolster AP attacks when you're in the same hex,
For all of the times you're fighting conventional infantry.
which you can't do in Iliad because we have the BV gate of 200 BV, and you can't get conventional infantry that high.
Yeah. No, if you guys listened to last episode, like listening to some of the issues with instant action is like listening to the history of Iliad and the problems we encountered and solved. 200 BV minimum would have dealt with some of that stuff, and I'm just so happy we ended up doing that, because the more I delve into other formats, what other things are encountering, we don't want those issues.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, we've worked through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so the way that the game basically went was we started off, it's short edge deployment, so we both wound up effectively doing the same thing. Half the force was running towards our objective we needed to claim, the other half of the force was going over and defending the other one. What I wound up doing was, in order to defend against Luke's force coming in to score points, I put the Gunslinger and the Wolfhound on his point to guard that against his Warcrow, because I figured that was going to try and like push up. So I was going to try to use the Relaser and the Gauss rifles to just kind of brute force my way through the Pharaoh Lamb armor.
And in fairness, you did eventually manage to kill that Warcrow.
I did do that. The Warcrow made a tactical error at the end where it presented the back to the Gunslinger, and it alpha striked all the way through the left torso and through to the CT and just
Killed it dead.
And it came at the cost of the Gunslinger's pilot kind of boiling alive in the cockpit while being brain fried to death. Like, the pilot was dead 6 ways to Sunday. It was just, that's just how it went. And on the other end, I ran the Zeus X and the Mongoose up to try and claim the other point and kind of like skirmish. I basically tried to rush them up as soon as I could to claim the objective before his stuff arrived. And unfortunately, one of the stuff was his Merlin, which is a monster at close range. And his Lancelot was, or not his Lancelot, my bad, Dark Crow. Those two were kind of skirmishing between each other at my combined force that was on the point, where the Merlin actually managed to knock over the Zeus with all the damage it did, because I beefed the PSR. It fell over, and then he kicked the head off the Zeus with the Merlin, and left me with a significant, points deficit. And then would proceed to, a few turns later, the Mongoose would go down to being cored out after its pilot failed to stand up like 6 attempts in a row.
Yeah.
I got up
just
to
turned
5.
At some point, that just turned into sick curiosity on your part about how bad you can make the numbers.
After 3 of them, I was like, this guy's not getting back up anyway. I just want to see if I can kill him now. So, and then over on the other end, the gunslinger went down to just a bunch of damage and a dead pilot, which left the only unit I had on the board, a lightly peppered wolfhound with a broken gyro with attack.
Lots of missiles coming down the rail off of those rabbits. And then it was kind of the Merlin was kind of my MVP for that, followed up by the Fire Moth, which was bouncing around, dealing lots of damage. The Dark Crow was just kind of there, but also I think it's kind of a goofy mech, and I want to see it more because it's, if you look at the cost, it's like I think 1,500 battle value for something that can pretty consistently throw 20 damage downrange at like 8 hexes for its short range. I would consider it a perfectly cromulent medium.
I always forget that it's a medium.
Well, the problem is it is literally just here is a clan version of a Lancelot, and it has almost identical armor characteristics. The difference is just it's 5 tons lighter.
Well, here's my real question. Nope, it's got 9 head armor. It's not a Lancelot. Oh, well, no, the Dark Crow 2 has 8 head armor.
The Lancelot C is short on head armor. I think the normal Lancelot isn't.
Well, now I have to look this up. Normal Lancelot, 7 head armor.
Oh.
Oof.
9,
that's weird.
7, 9, 8, 7. I just realized the other day that Cougars don't have full 9 head armor. It's 8.
Yep.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, the other day.
We were at RPG.
8 head armor is fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, you get head capped by a large variable speed pulse laser, a gun that basically nothing uses.
Unless it's free roll in the Jihad.
An Oscout only has 6 head armor.
Oh no, you get head capped by a large pulse laser, which is actually kind of significant.
Yep. Well, I guess it's just the Oscout 7 series. The next ones they actually figured out how to put armor on the head. Nope, because there's 8 on the Comstar variant. Hang on, we're getting into weird signs. 7 on the 9S. 8 on the 10.
Yeah.
What there's so many different.
But also, 10 damage goes internal just about anywhere. So it's one of those.
Yeah. It's a mech it's relying on its movement speed as its defense. It's not relying on its armor.
There was a really funny moment during our game where I managed to land a single shot from I think it was the Wolfhound that was firing at Luke's Fire Moth, and if it hit anywhere else, it would have gone internal and probably been a crit. But because I hit him in the face with a medium laser, it survived scot-free and got away.
Yeah. And then you hit it the next turn with another medium laser in the head and killed it. But yeah,
like, I took the hardest way through a Fire Moth.
We can only hit it one place, but the one place we can hit it, oh boy. The Fire Moth, but the Fire Moth did what it needed to do, which was throw a bunch of damage downrange constantly, at very close ranges.
It was basically responsible for doing all the hurt to the gunslinger that ended up taking.
Yes. Yeah, because it turns out missile don't go so well into armor which halves missile damage.
Yeah, BRA is great, and I highly recommend everybody use more of it.
What did you call me? Clan Federated Jaguars or Clan Smoke Suns? Disagree.
I called you Clan Smoke Suns.
I like my ballistic damage tribal. All right.
Yes. Listen, it'll work.
I think it's largely settled. We'll have the official discussion, but I think once core rules come out, you're going to be limited to 1 unit of special armor because.
Well, don't worry. I'll go into that when I talk about my game.
All right.
There you go.
What's your game?
So my game was I came up with this really dumb C3 lance that fits in the Eastern Assault Richmond Open list construction format, and my brother I asked my brother if he wanted to do a quick practice game against me, because Nicholas has been busy, and he's like, yeah, sure. So we end up booting up Mega Mech and playing online, and we start playing. I actually go and like start clicking on his mechs and look at this and said, you brought the Akuma, you have hardened armor. Oh, you also brought a Kurakubi, you have hardened armor. Oh, you also brought a Wendigo, you have reflective armor. It's like, I just wanted to bring these because I just got the models for them in the Cretan packs. I said, yeah, well, it is all of the special armor, and I have MML 7s and PPCs.
I assume you mean the Shiro, not the Akuma, by the way.
Yes, the Shiro. That is correct. I was thinking about the stupid not Atlas skull, but yes, it is the Shiro.
I like the Akuma's face.
So does Luke. But yeah, so my force was the Avatar OC as the C3 Master. It has 2 LRM-10s, a PPC, and an Ultra 5, and some miscellaneous ER medium lasers. Then I've got a Battle Axe 8D, which is 4 ER medium lasers, 3 MML-7s, and 4 tons of ammo.
Big fan.
I've got I love that mech. Even without it being in C3, I love that mech.
Big Hellspawn.
Yes, big brother Hellspawn. Then I've got a Thanatos 6S. I would have taken the 6S too, but for some reason, that shrapnel has not been added to the MUL yet.
We can scream about this later, but I believe that shrapnels later than like 12 have not been added to them all.
And big sad, because 6S2 is cool. But the 6S is a unique contraption because it has a heavy PPC, 2 ER medium lasers, 2 regular medium lasers, and 3 LRM-5s, with 2 tons of ammo, mind you. Then to round out the lance, I have an Owens OD, which is just a Narc and an SRM-4 and a probe. And they're all in a C3 lance together, and to add in a little bit of extra, I had a Cavalier 2 Flamer variant battle armor that could mechanize onto Owens. Then, as a little spicy added bonus, there are 2 tons of LRM-10 ammo in the Avatar, and I kept 2 tons of LRM ammo for the MML-7s in the Battle Axe. So 1 ton of each was Narc equipped, and 1 ton of each was semi-guided equipped. And working our way through a bunch of crashes, I think we got to like turn 4, maybe 5, but I just was doing 0 damage to his pile of hardened armor.
Yeah.
Even though I was just hitting him. But he was also just missing me.
Missing you. Also, what did he have? The Shiro, the Roku, and what was the last one?
A Wendigo, and then he also had. I can't remember. It was one thing. It was the only thing that didn't have special armor. I can't remember what it was.
But the Shiro and the Roku are a lot of armor and not a lot of anything else. Is kind of the problem with them. Like, the Shiro has 40 tubes worth of LRM-10s, and then if you're using the hardened armor variant, an LB2X autocannon.
Yep.
The Roku has either a PPC or a light AC5.
He had the light AC5.
Which, yeah, it's a little bit of a...
And then he had the Wendigo A.
Yeah. Which, those 2 mechs are very much immovable objects versus... I don't know if I want to call C3 an unstoppable force.
Especially not that. I didn't have a lot of things that really got to take advantage of it. I did do a funny thing, though, and he didn't realize that I had improved jump jets, and I jumped right next to his Rakuro and tried to kick it.
Yeah, that'll...
I jumped into heavy wood 6 hexes and tried to kick him in the head.
You know, like, I've heard Luke say hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. I'd like to introduce an alternate term for this scenario, which is hydrogen baby versus coughing bomb.
Yeah, that does kind of sound like what happens.
But after the last time when the game crashed out and we couldn't load back in, we just kind of called it. But it was the mission we played was one of the Richmond Open missions. It was they're effectively the King of the Hill one, where there's just a random level 2 structure in the middle of the map. That
I hate it.
Whoever has the most units within 2 hexes of that random 2 hex or 2 level tall structure gains points for it.
The random building that for some reason you can't shoot past, even though there's nothing actually there.
They call it a level 2 building. Here, I'll 3D print. I'll bring one of my coolant towers for you. That I got from one of the things, and you can put that in the middle. That way, you can visualize it better.
It is indestructible, blocks line of sight, and you can't enter the hex, so you can't get on top of it.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, if you're on opposite sides of it, on the point, you can't fight the other guy that's also on the point.
Yep.
It's terrible.
Hey, how do we make elementals potentially more oppressive in this format with limited TMM unit counts and everything else? I know!
And, hang on, don't allow B-pods.
Can't allow B-pods. Even though you have to bring the book that has the rules for B-pods.
Yeah, I played a test game of that scenario with Nicholas, where he threw his Jade Falcons at me, and I was still, trying to work my way through what I was going to bring for my stuff, and I didn't realize that I just couldn't shoot through the building. So he put just 2 things behind it, and I just couldn't do anything about him, and he just won.
See, when I played against Nicholas with that, he just dropped his Stormbirds on it and then laughed at me.
Yeah, it seems like the objective holding missions in the Richmond packet really heavily incentivize the use of battle armor.
Yep.
As a force multiplier.
This is coming out after the list things are in. And I don't want to get too heavily into it. We'll see how it actually plays out. But in a format that only allows you to bring 2 units max of TMM4 or 1 unit TMM5, and has missions that count number of units for gaining points, it means you are significantly advantaged by having both of your TMM4 units able to carry battle armor and then dropping off battle armor, because unless your opponent also takes advantage of that, you now double the unit count in the center where you're claiming objectives, and if you don't have some way of engaging or delaying or occupying that, if you don't have at least 1 battle armor of your own to get into a position, you're basically setting yourself up on a very heavy back foot right at the start.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah, if you're going to allow battle armor, you shouldn't have that TMM limit.
Yeah, because it is, unless you want to encourage everyone to be bringing battle armor. But
people just bring pals and then be annoying.
Yeah, they don't have a limit on the BV that you have to spend on it either. So you can just bring a 36 BV power armor exoskeleton that is technically battle armor, and then you can still just have most of a force while you still have 3 units that are just they're there, they can capture objectives, but they don't do anything other than do that.
As long as they have 2 basic manipulators, man, you can do anti-mech attacks. That's what I was doing with my pals.
Yeah, but that's just an added benefit.
Yeah, you can throw them at people, and you can use them to. You can use the grabby hands.
Don't make me sad that
this isn't Senior
that I
Grabby
can't
Hands.
bring Senor Grabby Hands.
Your grabby hands.
Senor Grabby
No,
Hands
these are.
are
I'm trying to
king.
think of what the like diminutive form of Senor is.
Hijo.
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
Hijo grabby hands.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my Praise Seeker. I wanted to bring him so bad.
I know.
But eating both movement slots because he can get TMM5 because if he runs in a straight line with no obstacles is
Yep.
a little short-sighted.
So, when it comes to me and games played, I don't have all that much to talk about. I've been pretty busy with some stuff. For anyone local who's listening, for those who don't know, I am a classically trained fine artist, and I had a studio down where I used to live that I'm moving out of. And so I've been going down to Ithaca on weekends to pack it up and move it because I'm moving out of that arty studio down there, and I'm eventually getting one up here, and I'm hoping to get back into making art. But, moving out and driving and spending all day Saturday dealing with that has been a lot, combined with all of a sudden only having one day off on weekends with obligations. It's been a deal. There's my life. There's some personal stuff, but I did manage to join our RPG game down in Ithaca yesterday. Made a visit, and in a similar sense of how much I love my Ultra PPC Panther in the local semi RPG campaign going on up here, I have a weird super TMM bonus now, Cougar. As Nate will attest, the game master John, who's been on the podcast here,
There was a funnier moment further down the line I'll cover.
where allowed me to use the ghost targets optional rule for ECM because my character is a computer expert. He basically has a higher bonus than the difficulty number to the base computer use stuff, and so he just kind of 80s movie hackers his way into like systems.
Does he have a power glove?
Overrides things. Yeah, he's got a power glove. It gives him a bonus.
He also says I'm in like 6 times a session.
Oh yeah, we did like an online session once where we couldn't meet in person because of the bad weather or whatever, and so my character infiltrated this facility, and every time he like hacked a security pad, I would just look at everyone. I'm in.
It wasn't.
In any case,
it wasn't everyone. He was messaging my character specifically.
I'm in. But anyway, because the Cougar is an Omni and he lets it customize, and it's well under the technical BV limit, I ended up with Patches the Cougar Mark III, which is a Cougar base Omni-Mech with 2 ER large lasers, a targeting computer, 6 light machine guns, an active probe, and 3 ECMs. And when you are using your computer skill instead of your piloting skill to roll for ghost targets, and your target number is now a 4, you essentially give yourself +3 TMM every turn. And when you run in a straight line and have a TMM 6 on a Cougar with a targeting computer, you end up, in an honor duel with your opponent and winning.
In an honor duel with a Hero Falcon.
Yep.
Which you appear to have claimed as Isorla.
Yes,
and
most definitely.
And the funny moment that I mentioned before was I was sitting next to you, and I looked over and I saw you were customizing what you were going to run for your Hero Falcon, and I saw you
possibly.
I saw you click on ECM Suite, go up to add, and click it twice.
It starts with 1 to begin with.
Yeah.
So it has jump 8. So be prepared for a TMM 7 Hero Falcon.
I'm not actually going to do that. That's too much. That's too ridiculous.
Yeah, you're gonna get us Pulse Tarkov to death.
How many ECMs do I have to mount to make your TC not work?
I don't know, but it'll still work well on the rest of us.
Somebody made the joke that ghost targeting is broken, and I made the comment, it's not broken until you can feel the ECM with your teeth.
It's not wrong.
Just feel it in your fillings.
Exactly. Just the buzz, literally. Anyway, so yeah, I found a way to turn my like skills-based character and his weird overpowered thing he's doing on the RPG side to convert it into actual on the table weirdness. So we'll see. I'm really excited to see what happens after that honor duel and that boss combat thing. But that's my recent games played. You know, another RPG thing this week. I want to try and get some more games in at some point, but you know, hopefully soon my life will settle down a little bit and I'll be able to play more and other people than Garner.
I just happen to live too far out, is all.
You are always welcome to visit.
I'm the only one that does it regularly.
Your dog doesn't randomly pee on the floor, so your dog would probably be welcome.
Okay.
And there are extra beds. Throwing it out there.
Probably going to end up getting at some point. I'll probably be up again because I would like to play you guys more, but it's been very hectic with finals coming up.
In diving school. And sword fighting.
Yeah. The diving is really funny because on one hand it is surprisingly natural once you get into it, but also like there's this looming specter of if you do things wrong, you do just kind of die. Like there's like 5 different ways that the air you're breathing is trying to kill you at any one moment, and it's like, yeah, if you hold your breath, you're gonna get an expansion injury and your lungs are gonna explode. If you go down too quickly, the nitrogen makes you drunk and you do stupid things and then you probably drown. If you go up too quickly, the nitrogen boils out of your blood and that causes problems everywhere. Like most of what doing this diving class has taught me is air very dangerous once you start pressurizing it.
I mean, that's really anything. But also, Luke, I need an encyclopedia ruling, quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just realized something. If I put Infernos in my battle armor,
yeah,
and I'm sharing a hex with another squad of battle armor, and my salamanders explode, does it hit both of us?
Salamanders don't explode. Fire resistant.
They're fire resistant, yes, but
what if they did?
But the tubes had Infernos in them. Can that splash onto the battle armor that I'm dueling in the same hex?
So no, like salamanders will not cause explosion. It will not cause like a propagation on death.
Okay, I thought that they just ignored the effects of Infernos for that purpose, not that they.
No, so if you have fire resistant, then you don't have to make the explosion on death.
Gotcha.
Check.
Okay.
That said, so here's the funny one though. If you have a stand of elementals in that have Infernos and all of them die, and you're in the same hex as another stand of elementals and an enemy battle mech, all of those get treated as getting splashed by the Infernos on death.
Amazing.
But
That would violate stacking rules, I think.
No, because it's your friendly battle armor and then an enemy mech and enemy battle armor. It's 2 per side. You can have up to 4 units in a single hex, but only one of them can be a mech.
Huh?
So you can
That doesn't seem right.
look up the rules. It's
What?
you could have it's up to 2 units per side. Only one of those units can be a mech. Are the rules for stacking. Doesn't come up very often, but that is how much stuff you can have in a single hex.
I need to see this now because that is counter to everything that. All right, page 57.
But yeah, it says for the Inferno detonation, it says all
Yep.
units within the hex are treated as though they were successfully struck.
Yep. At the end of each movement phase, up to 2 units from each side may occupy a single hex.
Yeah.
Maximum of 4. That's okay. Interesting.
Yeah, this was kind of the thing where like Axel was trying to figure out how infantry transports works. He was like, I gotta do this super weird and offbeat thing, and then it's just like, no, that's just something you can do with infantry transports, Axel. And it's based off of that.
Gotcha. Okay. So then I guess non-fire resistant things that so if I've got like a squad of normal elementals that pop off, they will splash everything in their hex.
Yep, it is everything in the hex.
Outstanding.
Which, oh no, I just had a very silly thought of how you could take advantage of that.
I'm looking to see if there are any pals with SRMs.
I was not.
Oh, God.
I wasn't gonna say pals. I was gonna say you call an artillery strike on your own battle armor.
Yeah, that in Iliad you can do that.
You call artillery on your own battle armor, pop the battle armor after they resolve their attacks, and then blow them for the rest of their damage. That's so dumb. But you can do it.
This feels like a very Korean thing to do.
Yeah. What can you do with SRMs on battle armor is the question now.
All right, so the Constable Pacification Suit has
Oh, okay. the
SRM
comparable.
have SRM ones and 2 grenade launchers. Interesting.
226 BV or 168 for 4.
We go into the periphery for this.
Well, the thing about the constables is you just make them like gunnery 6 because you don't care.
It's
You
true.
just fly them up to die.
In Iliad, you do have to keep in mind that it has to cost minimum 200 BV.
We're probably not talking about Iliad.
No,
That's
this is
true.
100% for
Hypothetical, how can we use battle armor as landmines?
How can we break somebody else's format?
Wait a second. What is? Oh no, I have one for you, Garner. Actually,
You know, here's the thing. Before we get too much into the random depths of us looking at random Megamech sheets, I
Yeah.
don't think that's the most engaging content.
no,
Well,
this is just us
This
both.
is just bullshit.
This
But
is
also,
bullshit, yeah.
Squad 4 Constable Pacification Suit that are 4-3 are 202 BV.
Okay. Never mind
would-
then.
I was gonna say if you want to really goober this, you can use the. I don't know why they're. Oh no, it is standard rules. Look up it's Word of Blake, but look up the Asura medium battle armor.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, there's a one-shot SRM version of it that has an SRM 6 rack. There's probably cheaper ways to do it, but that is kind of funny.
Jump 3, 221, SRM 6 one shot.
That is scary.
Yeah, here's your SRM-36. It's gonna miss.
Yeah, because it's a blankest thing, so you just get 6 of them.
Don't make me use.
We don't want Garner showing up with a wob list.
I don't want anybody showing up with the wob list. They're weird and annoying.
And small cockpits.
Yeah.
I mean,
Small cockpits, the really evil Banshee.
I'm
I
just
like that
looking
Banshee.
at it in terms of just because I could bring the Zura and a shot of artillery on my own and fire for and danger close to myself, and it'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Actually, if you wanted to,
Anyways, moving on.
We're gonna call it here.
yes,
So
it's a good
thank
idea.
you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you, Nate, for being for your first time on the podcast. I look forward to talking to you again as we wrap up Eastern Assault.
Yeah.
All right.
Glory to America.
Have a good night, guys.
Was that words?
Say goodbye. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Yep.
Good night.
Bye bye.
There we go. I need a call out from everybody.
Yeah.
Glory to America.
Thank you for listening to the Odysseus Legion podcast. This podcast was created by the Odysseus Legion, a BattleTech club organizing play around central and western New York State. Rules for all of our formats, as well as a calendar of Odysseus Legion events, can be found on our website, odysseuslegion.com. All music and audio in this recording was licensed through Adobe Stock or open source. All views expressed herein are those of the person expressing them and do not necessarily represent the views of the Odysseus Legion, Catalyst Game Labs, or the Catalyst demo team. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the Odysseus Legion podcast on your podcast platform of choice or on our YouTube channel. Have a great day.
If you aren't thinking about how you're going to be killing the swarm of toads, then the swarm of toads can be quite the issue.
Here's the thing about
Hold on.
What is that noise?
What was... Yeah.
Oh, that's my paint cup. Sorry.
You were speaking while you were making a noise, so I can't edit that noise out from when you were speaking, Luke.
He's just
Okay,
masturbating while we're talking.
Yeah, no, I
That's
listen.
been cut out.
I'm thinking about that one element, that one source book picture of the elemental out of the armor. No, it's
like the one in all the fishnets.
Yes.
yeah. You know the one.
Everybody knows the one.
But say, Garner, you've got a clicky clacky fidget.
Huh?
I mean, are you holding something that makes a clicking noise?
No.
I've been hearing a clicking noise when you were talking just a second ago.
I actually was hearing that too. That.
What is that?
It's me playing with the mic boom arm.
Stop.
I can't mute the squeaky sounds that happen while you're speaking. If you're holding the speaking stick, don't move.
I'm sorry. I need a fidget toy.